Hello, hello, hello. How you guys doing? uh, my name is Grandmaster Evan. I am the founder of the Anonymous Everyday Media. And I want to talk about a report that was on RT watching the Hawks. And they were talking about uh, U.S. law enforcement putting hip hop under surveillance. And I've been a big fan of hip hop for a long, long time. I grew up listening to Cool Modi, LL Cool J, Run DMC, um, the Sugar Hill Gang, um, Grandmaster Flash, um, Fab Five Freddy, and so thrown through the '90s with NWA and Public Enemy and a lot of the greats, um, a lot of the greats, Tupac, Biggie, so on and so forth. The list goes on and on. And rappers are being murdered left and right. For whatever reason that may be, it's kind of controversial on all levels because there are very talented hip hop artists and rappers, very talented, um, very knowledgeable um, on what's going on today. And it all started with the song "Fuck the Police" because the police in Los Angeles were not thrilled with black youth back in the day. Still are today. Jamal Knox is looking at 2 years in prison. 2 years over a lyric that cops find threatening. Okay. Now the First Amendment does protect freedom of speech, but limited on certain speech. But we're talking about here the the evolution, the evolving of hip hop throughout the last 40 years. Um, there was rap music talking about the streets, the life in the streets, then talking about spending a lot of money on bitches and hoes and shit like that, and just all kinds of type of genre of hip hop and rap. But there were there were lyrics of songs that were paying homage to the hip hop artists that paved the way for the younger generation. We lost a someone who was this generation's the if you're 18 to 24, your generation lost a version of Tupac in Extension, who was a 20-year-old young rapper who was about to become a dad, was shot and killed by two other failed rappers, and at a at a car at a car meet, and he was leaving, and he was shot dead, cold dead, and robbed. And now I don't know why law enforcement would be so petty and pussyish over great talented artists in rap in hip hop and the rap culture. They're talented, very talented hip hop artists, very talented. And major labels are run by old white dudes, thinking that they can make money off the backs of these talented hip hop artists. And like DMX, when he opened up our minds to the knowledge of the game of the industry. The industry is making money off the backs of the very talented hip hop artists. Very talented. Law enforcement has put hip hop under surveillance for nearly 30 years. With NWA, Public Enemy, KRS-One, Tupac, and a lot of very talented hip hop artists that have died doing what they love. And it is a very, very hard thing to deal with when you're losing your favorite artist, whether it's in rap, hip hop, blues, jazz, R&B, whatever genre it is. I mean, it could be heavy metal, it could be glam rock, it could be grunge, and the person or the group became highly influential. Look at the Wu-Tang Clan. Highly influential, like NWA and Public Enemy. These were very influential to the black youth, as well as the Latino youth that listen to rap and hip hop and old school music. And hip hop is not just a hip hop became a global phenomenon. Here in the States, South America, Europe, Asia, Middle East. It brings people together, and it could be a Middle Eastern rapper, you could be an Asian rapper, you could be a Latino rapper, you could be a rapper from Europe, Germany, France. I mean, it's a genre that has captivated the world more than you would see rock and roll has done, or what other genres of music have done. Hip hop has become a global phenomenon. It has brought out people from other parts of the world becoming rappers, hip hop artists. You could be in the Middle East, you can do rap. You could be in Latin America. You could be in Canada. You could be in Russia. You could be in parts of the world, other parts of the world. And really, but here in the United States, there's been racial profiling of black youth who would play their music and really have been stopped, pulled over for being accused of playing the music loud. And it's because law enforcement is so strong, gung ho on keeping hip hop under surveillance. Because when a particular officer gets called out in a lyric, because The youth is frustrated. They're angry, and the only way to express that frustration is through music. It's like there have been groups like Rage Against the Machine have used their music and their frustration to call out the corruption of our government, the corruption of the power elite, the bankers, the corporations, the lobbies, the upper 1%, the war profiteers, the warmongers, the oligarchs, the oligarch. And groups like that have called out a lot of people through their lyrics. Even rappers will call out other rappers in their own lyrics. They get Tupac before they died. They had called each other out through their lyrics and shit. There was, I mean, a big rap beef that sometimes it did get a little too personal. Okay, too personal. And I mean, I would rather see rappers deal with their stuff through lyrics. I don't want to see any rapper die. Okay, I want to see really good, talented hip hop artists to thrive in their career in hip hop or jazz or whatever they are doing. But I I seen a video on celebrities in the music industry, and most of them were rappers that were murdered. And um, these were good rappers. So Mac Dre was killed, was murdered, and there was ODB. He was murdered. I think that there are really last 40 years we've seen great talented hip hop artists die under mysterious circumstances, and some of them were killed by federal agents, somebody from the industry, police officers that have a grudge, which they need to fucking grow up and shit. And but it seems that the cops, law enforcement don't give a shit about the First Amendment. Okay, law enforcement does not give a rat's ass about the First Amendment right of hip hop artists. That's chicken shit. I feel that hip hop is, to me, it's a global phenomenon where people from across the globe were influenced by hip hop artists and rappers here in the United States and became so big fans of the current and late artists that they become rappers themselves and have their own following in their home country. And there was a young woman who's she raps, and her music is to have an awareness on women that are being suppressed in a male-dominated society in the Middle East, and her life was threatened because she was speaking out, telling the truth through her lyrics, and she left the Middle East to pursue a career in rap. And under the law of Sharia, with her pursuing a rap career, that is a death sentence for her. But why do you want to put a death sentence on someone who wants to get into the rap career, in the career of hip hop and the rap, and have a rap career? It's because people still live under a religious rule of a deity that don't fucking exist. This, this person said, do this. Okay, yeah, when? Was it an email? Was it in a text message? Was it a phone call? Did they call? Did they send down smoke signals? No, because they believe in the religion so hard they are brainwashed under that religion. But I'm not here to talk about it. I'm talking about the controversy of law enforcement versus hip hop, and how law enforcement has taken things so fucking personal. I mean, so goddamn personal over lyrics that call them out for their bullshit. But you see officers that do stupid shit when they racial profile black youth or Hispanic youth, because about 10% of a little over. I could be wrong. 10% of officers are racist motherfuckers and don't give a shit about anyone's First Amendment right, Fourth Amendment right, or fifth, basically the whole rights under the Constitution. They don't give a rat's ass. Okay. For example, I subscribe to DDE, which is Daily Driven Exotics, and the guy that runs the channel will drive a Lamborghini now and then, or some other vehicle. He was pulled over by a cop in Beverly Hills, and he was stopped because he was accused of having modified exhaust. Now, if you look at most Lambos, their exhaust do look mod, but they are stock from the factory. Okay, from the factory. And this officer is a Beverly Hills cop. Then he handed him his license and he asked, "Where's your Canadian license? Why do you have a Canadian license?" See, most cops don't. See, most cops here in California are fucking stupid. Most of them are stupid here in California. Very stupid, because they don't understand that you don't need a we have a treaty with Canada. Okay, if a tourist from Canada have a license from Canada, that license is a license to drive anywhere in North America. And this officer says, "Well, I'm going to write you up for not having a California license." And he said, "Also, I'm writing you up for a illegal exhaust." This cop was so fucking stupid. Look, Beverly Hills cops are fucking retarded. Okay, retarded. About 10% of them are retarded. But this one said that he could tow his vehicle, but he chose not to. That's a cop out because he's a cocksucker. And he said to the driver, he says that you're not to drive his car. If he sees it, he'll arrest the driver who runs the channel on YouTube and impound the car. Okay. Now, here's the thing. Cops these days don't know the law as well as they think they do. But if you don't need if you're a tourist from Canada, you don't need a California or a Texas or a West Virginia or a Washington or a New York or a Florida or any license from any state. If you're from Canada and you have a license, that's your license. And with that license, you can drive in the United States. Whether you go to California, Washington, New York, Florida, North Dakota, Texas, Colorado, Michigan, whatever. And you don't need to prove. The thing is, the U.S. has a treaty with Canada. Okay? Cops in California are fucking stupid. Okay? Fucking stupid. Big time. Big time, pig time, no bullshit. No more, no less. Cops in LA are fucking dumb. Cops in Beverly Hills are fucking stupid. Okay? That's the majority of the retards, the badges and shit. Cops in Frisco are also fucking stupid. Cops here in Fresno are also fucking stupid. Because you have to know the law. You have to know I mean, for example, you as an individual has the right to film public officials. Okay, straight up, no bullshit. As protected under the First Amendment of free speech and freedom of the press. You don't need a press pass to be a citizen journalist. Your cell phone, or here, you are more powerful than you possibly imagined with your smartphone. You could film, you could upload to YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and whatever you got. This phone is a tool that can help keep cops accountable. And this is what pisses the cops off, is that officers do not like being accountable because they think they're above the fucking law. Okay? This is what NWA was talking about in their lyric, "Fuck the police." And you gotta understand that cops back in the day did not give a rat's fucking ass. They'll just arrest you for looking at them wrong. And what's also fucked up is, for example, if you're driving a Mercedes, for example, a Mercedes. If a white guy drives a Mercedes, okay, that's $90,000, okay, no problem, okay. But if a black guy drives the very same car that's $30,000 less, around about $60,000, they're stopped, they're pulled over, stopped, because in the cop's mind, why is this guy driving a Mercedes? Could he be a drug dealer? Could he be a smuggler? Could he be a gang in a gang selling drugs and shit? You know, that's what a dumbest cop would think. A white cop would think. Because it's okay for a white guy driving a Mercedes, but a black guy driving a very similar one that's about $60,000, 30 grand less than the one the white dumbass is driving. You have a right to work, to earn your keep, and to drive any car you want to drive. Whether it's a Mercedes, a Porsche, a Lambo, a Ford, a Chrysler, a Toyota, a Lexus, a Nissan, a Volkswagen, or a Cadillac, or an old fucking Buick. It's stupid how police officers treat people. Okay? How they treat people. Because they got this thing put in their head that everybody's against us. Okay. It's us or them mentality in law enforcement. Okay. Um, they will stop you for anything stupid. They think they're above the law. And what needs to happen, and this 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 is my opinion. Yeah, my opinion. And there has to be huge accountability. A huge accountability. And not just in law enforcement, but also within the local and state governments. Um, right now, we got issues. We got, you know, here in California, you got dumbasses running state. And California is under Democratic rule, a liberal Democratic rule control. I don't like it. Okay. Um, but I've seen cops beat people beyond anything, and I want to see, and this is coming from me. Okay, coming from me. Even though I don't condone it, but I want to see a cop to see what it's like to get their ass beat by somebody who's fucking frustrated and tired of this bullshit of citizens that are unarmed, innocent, and getting shot or beaten by cops. Even though I don't condone it, but it's how I feel. But even though I don't condone it, I don't approve anybody getting assaulted, no matter who they are. But an officer does not know what it's like to get the beating of his life by somebody. It's mainly citizens, whether you're white, black, Hispanic, Asian, whatever your nationality is. Um, you can be a Russian truck driver and still get beat. And I just think that there has to be accountability on law enforcement, but rarely an officer goes to prison. Rarely, because they find ways to get around the law, and not because sometimes you wonder if a member of the jury is threatened, either by the judge or by the DA or by rep, the rep of the police union or the fraternal order of police, because jurors most of the time would acquit the officers most of the time. My question is, and my theory is, could the jury be threatened with jail time if they voted against the officer? That's always went through my mind all the fucking time. Was a jury threatened in secret to not convict the officer but acquit him because he has a family and he has a huge recommendation? Those don't mean shit. If you fuck up, you fuck up. You do the crime, you do the time. No matter who the fuck you are, cop or no cop, you're going away for a long time, motherfucker. But again, hip hop artists are angry, and they do it they express it through their lyrics. And law enforcement officials don't quite get the hint, okay? Because they're so arrogant because they're in higher in power, okay? They feel nothing, absolutely feel nothing. And it is a very stupid thing that I'm gonna be honest here. Okay? I'm gonna be honest. It is very stupid of them not realizing that they fucked up, even though they do fuck up half the time. Um, 40 years of hip hop has influenced a lot of youngsters over the decades. Um, influenced a lot. A lot of people have been influenced by from the Sugar Hill Gang down to Kanye West. You know, the media don't. What was they were frowning on Kanye West, and on CNN, some dumb fuck says this is the reason why. Call it. Some says that Kanye he referred as Kanye West as a black person who couldn't read, or it was very stupid, very stupid. Now, Kanye West is very talented young man, talented guy, very talented. Um, he got tired of people telling him what to do. He got tired of people telling him what to do, and but he did the right thing. If you're an artist, never ever let anybody tell you what to do. It's your dream, your life. Hey, you can also start your own label, independent label, because a lot of labels that are independent are making a lot of money, a lot of money, and because the major labels don't want competition, whether in the music industry, movies, anything, media, they don't like competition. If you're a little guy who's doing pretty well, you become a target, and it puts the fears in the big moneymakers and shit. But we've lost great talented hip hop artists over the years, but their music still lives. They live through their music and shit. Um, it is a very insane thing. But I just think that cops take things a little bit too personal, and they retaliate. And they charge the artists with threats against the police, terrorist threats against the law enforcement officers, and I mean just calling out the names of officers that really did them wrong. I mean, the First Amendment protects them. Okay, it's protected under the First Amendment. Okay, if you're an officer and you get your name called out, you're being called out because you fucked up. You're the asshole, and you don't like it. Tough. Fuck you. Get over it. Okay, fucking get over it. All right. I mean, if you're a deputy, officer, state trooper, or whatever, and a artist calls you out by name and a lyric because they're frustrated on how the way you treat people in your city or your state, and you take it personal, it's on you. It's on your fucking ass. It's on your fucking ass. You take it so personal over a goddamn lyric because a rapper's frustrated, but you personally become frustrated because anger over your name being called out because you fucked up. You're fucked up, and you're being called out by an artist because look, you're an asshole. Okay, you're an asshole with a badge, and an artist in hip hop has a right to express their frustration through their lyrics. But if you, as an officer, take this a little bit personal, you have chosen to lower yourself as a childish cocksucker. Someone that is so fucking arrogant with a badge, you think you're above the law. Well, we the people are your boss. You get your salary through taxpayers. And yes, we know you start hearing about it, but guess what? We don't give a fuck. You work for the people of the city you work for. You wear that badge and uniform of the city you work for. And you work for the people. The people don't work for you. You're our slave. You're our bitch. You do what we say. Your job is to enforce the law, not be above it. You ain't better than the law. The law should be enforced and obeyed. The Constitution overrules your badge carrying ass, even though you violate it quite a bit. And if you, as an officer, take it personal of hip hop artist calling you out for being a fuck up, and you take it personal, that's fucking on you. You are the dumb motherfucker who took it so personal, so fucking personal. You chose to be an asshole. You chose to be a fuck up. Not the artist who calls you out for being an asshole. The artist is expressing themselves through lyrics of a song.